What if you died, and Jesus himself showed you the future? This is the true story of an 11-year-old boy who drowned in 2024, met Jesus, and was shown a shocking vision about the Sea of Galilee in 2025. My name is Kayla Peterson, and I died when I was 11 years old in Miller's Pond in July 2024. It was just one of those ordinary summer days. My friends Josh and Brandon had dared me to swim out to the old floating dock, so I went. I was only about halfway there when my arms started to feel like heavy ropes. My legs felt like they were kicking through mud. I took a breath, but I swallowed water, and then I panicked. I saw Josh's face change. He started yelling my name, but his voice sounded far away. Then everything went dark. Before that day, my life was pretty simple. I lived with my mom, dad, and my little sister Maya in a small blue house in North Carolina. My dad worked at the lumber yard, and my mom was a teacher's aide at my school. My biggest worry in the world was passing my math tests and whether or not I'd get the new Starfall video game for my birthday. I remember that morning my dad was trying to fix our squeaky screen door, and my mom was humming while she made coffee. It was just a normal day. We went to church on Sundays, and I knew the stories about Jesus, but he felt more like a character in a book than someone you could talk to. I never thought anything big or strange would ever happen to me. I was just a kid, but then I was at the bottom of a pond and everything changed. The panic was gone. The burning in my chest was gone. It was just silent. I felt myself lift up. It wasn't like floating in the water. It was different, lighter. I was hovering above the pond. I could see my own body just drifting a few feet below the surface. It looked like a doll, pale and still. It was so weird. I wasn't scared. It felt more like I was watching a movie. I saw Josh and Brandon screaming for help on the shore. I saw Mr. Henderson from 2 houses down running toward the water, his phone pressed to his ear. I felt a little sad watching them panic. I wanted to tell them, "Hey, I'm okay. I'm right here." Zrania, but I didn't have a voice. I didn't really have a body. I was just me, pure me. Then the scene at the pond started to fade. It was like someone was turning down the volume and the brightness on a television. Everything got soft and hazy. A new light began to grow all around me. It wasn't like the sun. The sun is bright and can hurt your eyes. This was a gentle light, warm and soft. It felt like it was humming, a sound that you feel more than you hear. It was the most peaceful feeling I have ever felt in my life. All the little worries I had, the math tests, the dares, everything just melted away. I felt completely, perfectly safe. I turned, and that's when I saw him. It was Jesus. He was made of that same warm, loving light. His form was there. I could see the shape of him, but he glowed with a light so pure and bright it's hard to describe. It was like looking at 1,000 sunsets all at once, but it didn't hurt to look. It just made you feel full of joy. He didn't have a beard and long robes like in the paintings. He was just light and love. His eyes, they weren't a color I could name. When he looked at me, it felt like he knew everything about me, not just my name or that I was 11. He knew about the time I gave half my sandwich to a kid who forgot his lunch. He knew about the time I lied to my mom about breaking a plate. He knew everything, the good and the bad, and there was no judgment in his eyes. There was only love, a love so deep and so wide it felt like an ocean. I just stood there in awe. I didn't know what to say. Then he spoke. His voice wasn't like a sound. It was a thought that appeared right in my mind and in my heart all at the same time. It was warm and calm and powerful. "Welcome, Caleb," he said. "It's good to see you." Tears filled my eyes, but they weren't sad tears. They were happy tears. I had never felt so known, so seen. "Am I dead?" I asked. He smiled, and the light around him seemed to get even brighter. "Your body has stopped, yes, but you're more alive now than you have ever been." He held out a hand made of light, and I took it. His touch was pure warmth. He led me through the light, and the world around us began to change. It was no longer just a space of soft white. Scenes began to appear around us like we were walking through living memories. He showed me my mom praying for me by my bedside every single night. I saw her words rise up from her mouth like little threads of golden light. I saw those threads travel through space and wrap around me like a warm blanket. He showed me one time I was really sick with a fever, and she prayed. I saw her prayer become a shield, pushing back on something dark and spiky that was trying to get close to me. I never knew. I just thought I got better. "No prayer is ever wasted, Caleb," Jesus said gently. "Not one. They are treasures. They are weapons. They are the most powerful force in the universe because they are powered by love." Then the scene shifted. This was the most important part. This is what I really want you to see. We were standing on a hill, looking down at a huge body of water. It was a beautiful, sparkling blue sea. There were fishing boats on it, and the sun was setting. "It's beautiful," I thought. "This is the Sea of Galilee," he said, "a place where I spent much of my time on earth. Watch." As I watched, something began to happen. A dark red color started to swirl in the water near one of the shores. It was faint at first, like someone had spilled a little bit of paint, but then it grew. More and more red poured into the water, spreading like a stain. It got deeper and darker until the whole sea from shore to shore was the color of blood. It was terrifying. The beautiful blue was gone. The fishing boats now looked like they were floating in a sea of red. "What's happening?" I asked, my heart pounding, even though I didn't really have a heart anymore. "Is that blood?" Jesus' face was sad as he looked at it. His light seemed to dim just a little, as if he was feeling a great pain. "In a way it is," he said, his voice full of sorrow. "This will happen. Soon. In the year 2025, the water will physically turn this color for a short time. People will be afraid. They will think it is a plague or a curse or the end of everything. They will think it is my anger." He paused and looked right at me, his eyes holding so much love and pain. "But it is not my anger, Caleb. This is not a punishment. It is a sign. It is a mirror." "A mirror of what?" I asked. "It is the pain of the world," he explained. "Every harsh word spoken in anger, every act of bitterness, every time someone chooses revenge instead of forgiveness, it adds a drop of red to the water. The world is hurting, Caleb. People are carrying so much pain and they pass it on to others. The world has forgotten how to forgive. They hold on to their anger and their wounds, and it is poisoning the very heart of humanity." He showed me a vision. I saw a man in an office yelling at his wife on the phone. As he yelled, a single drop of dark red liquid fell from his heart and splashed into the sea. I saw 2 countries on a news report, their leaders shouting insults. With every angry word, a stream of red poured into the water. I saw kids being mean to each other on the playground at my school. More red. It was coming from everywhere. I felt so sad. "It's so much," I said. "It's everywhere." "Yes," Jesus said. but that is not the whole story." He waved his hand, and I saw a new vision. I saw a woman visiting her father in the hospital. He had hurt her very badly when she was young. I could feel her pain, a tight knot in her chest, but I saw her take his hand and say, "Dad, I forgive you." As she spoke those words, a single drop of the clearest, most brilliant water you've ever seen fell from her heart. When it hit the Red Sea, it didn't just add to it, it sizzled, and a whole section of the red water around it turned back to that beautiful, sparkling blue. He showed me more. He showed me a boy who shared his lunch with someone who had bullied him, a splash of clear, pure water. He showed me two friends who had a fight, but one of them came back and said, "I'm sorry," more blue. He even showed me a time I had forgiven my friend Josh for breaking my favorite toy. It was a small thing, but I saw my own little drop of clear water fall into the sea and make a patch of blue. "Do you see, Caleb?" Jesus asked, his voice filled with hope. "The red is great, but the blue is more powerful. A single act of true forgiveness, of selfless love, can wash away a sea of hurt. The world has forgotten this. They think power is in money or armies or being right, but true power, the power that heals the world, is in forgiveness. It's in letting go." He looked at me. "When the sea turns red, people will be afraid. But I don't want them to be afraid. I want them to remember. I want them to look at their own hearts. I want them to ask themselves, am I pouring red into the world or am I pouring blue? This is the message you must take back. Take back." Suddenly, I felt a pull. It was a gentle tug pulling me away from him, back toward the fuzzy, distant world of the pond. "No," I said, grabbing onto his hand of light. "No, I don't want to go back. Please, I want to stay here with you. It's so nice here. There's no pain here." Tears were streaming down my face again. The thought of leaving this place, of leaving him, was the worst pain I had ever felt. It was like being torn in two. He looked at me with that same endless love. He put his other hand on my shoulder, and the warmth flooded me. "I know, little one, and one day you will come back and stay forever, but not yet. Your family needs you, your mom and dad and little Maya, and there are people who need to hear this story. You have a mission, Caleb." "But I'm just a kid," I sobbed. "No one will believe me." "You just have to tell them what you saw," he said, his voice so kind. "Tell them I am real. Tell them I love them more than they can ever imagine. And tell them about the sea. Tell them that forgiveness is the water that will heal the world. Don't worry, I will be with you. You will never be alone." He leaned in and kissed my forehead. It wasn't a physical kiss, but a burst of light and love that went straight through me, filling every part of me with a peace that I can't explain. It was a promise. "I don't want to go," I whispered one last time. "I know," he said, "but it's time. Go in peace, my brave little messenger." The light faded. The beautiful humming sound was gone. I felt myself falling, tumbling back through the silence and the darkness, and then pain. A huge, crushing weight was on my chest. Someone was pushing on me hard. I coughed, and a flood of slimy, gritty pond water came pouring out of my mouth. My lungs burned like they were on fire. Everything was loud, so loud. "He's breathing! He's breathing! We got him back!" a voice yelled. My eyes fluttered open. I was lying on the grassy bank of the pond. A man with a red shirt, a paramedic, was leaning over me. My mom was kneeling beside me. Her face was wet with tears, and she was sobbing my name over and over. Caleb! Oh, Caleb, baby! My chest hurt so bad. I was cold and shivering. I tried to speak, but all that came out was a weak cough. I could see the flashing lights of the ambulance. They said I had been underwater for almost 9 minutes. The paramedics couldn't believe it. They kept saying there should have been brain damage, that it was a miracle. Lying there, with my mom holding my hand so tight it hurt. All I could think about was his face, the feeling of his love. I started to cry, but not because I was hurt or scared. I was crying because I had just left heaven. I had just left him, and I missed him already. So now, I'm telling you what I saw. I know it might sound crazy. I'm just a kid from North Carolina. But I was there. I saw it. And Jesus asked me to give you this message. He is real. He is not a story in a book. And his love for you is bigger than all the oceans in the world. He sees you. He knows your pain. And if you're wondering what you can do to make a difference in this loud, angry world, he showed me the answer. Forgive someone. Let go of that old grudge. Say you're sorry. Choose love, even when it's the hardest thing to do, because every time you do, you are pouring a drop of clear, healing water into the hurting heart of the world. You are pushing back the Red Sea. You're helping to heal everything. That's the truth he showed me, and that's the truth I promised I would share.